Chavra, Bezrat Hashem, B'Shem Kol Yisrael, like my father said moments ago. It's beautiful to have the Stealing Torah Chavra on every single night. You guys give me strength. And there isn't a tefillah specifically for this night, but the learning and the quotations should be the tefillah, and everyone should have a refuah through the teachings that we are learning together. And Chanukah is in 4 days. Shabbos is in 2. My brother is landing at the hotel tomorrow morning. Everyone's invited, 8:30. So a lot of stuff is happening. Baruch Hashem. So the tefillah is B'Shem Kol Yisrael, specifically Pesach Reuven ben Yosef Asara, Bracha Bas Yehudis, Miriam Dodi Bas Chana Yocheved, Yonah Bas Basia, Mamash, every neshama in the world. Nahora Bas Hareli. So inner thoughts, Parkane, Rabbi Nachman says the mind changes directions like the flight of a bird, and it takes a great deal of strength and wisdom to hunt that bird down. Deep quote from Rabbeinu. Right, to really be in control of your thoughts is such a hard thing. Right, think about the millions of thoughts that are running through our minds each and every day. To really stop and be like, no, I'm going to filter you out. It's very, very hard. Thoughts are birds. Wow. So thoughts are birds. Thoughts are birds. Now we're continuing. Actually, I went through, I did the objective, right? So the last couple of nights, we set an objective for the Chavra that we should learn some halacha on Chanukah. 2 nights ago was 1. I didn't do that. So today I did 2. So Baruch Hashem, and we're continuing. Do you know how far we can reach? Such a deep question. Do we really know? Do any of us know how high and how deep we can reach? Really, infinity. We are made in God's image. We can get close, really close to God. Right? It sounds crazy, but it's true. The Talmud says that God's light does not get that close to this world. Usually there must be a little space in between him and our world, a small space of 10 tfachim. But on Chanukah, his light comes all the way down to the ground. All year long, without that light, I understand that holiness is cute, sweet, beautiful. But Chavra, let's face it, it doesn't reach down to this world. Can you sell herring and be holy? Can you be a stockbroker and really be holy? You can't, because you have no light, right? Right, so the whole year, Farka, it's amazing. Right, the whole year, there's a space, and we feel that space. But on Chanukah, it's so obvious. Hashem comes down to our house, to our bias, like we learned a couple of weeks ago. Right, in the month of Elul, we meet Hashem in the field. But in Kislev, we're like, Ribbana Sha'olam, come to our house now. Come be with us. With light, the lowest place can be made holy. We all know that. The stockbroker is the holiest person in the world. The herring person is the holiest person in the world. And here I want you to open up your hearts. We all have to open up our hearts. The YouTube viewers, Farkane and I, my dad, we all know a lot of holy words, right? We're learning them right now. We learned them for the past, 2 years together and more. But why don't they change us? Such a good quote. Forget the Rabbi, but one of the tzaddikim say that we learn the Torah Gevalt, but what is the Torah teaching you? Is that good? All right. Because we have this little in-between space. I don't let God get too close. I leave myself a little space in between space where I keep my unholy stuff. I don't let myself overdo it, so I never change. Right? We allow Hashem in, but do we fully allow Hashem in? But on Chanukah, God's light reaches me in the lowest places in the world. Right? That place where you're embarrassed to reveal to yourself and to acknowledge that you're struggling in, and even more so revealing to other people, or even discussing it with Hashem. God comes down to that specific place and he's like, no, it was light all along. There were peels on it. But my light is going to burn those peels, and you'll see all along it was light. All along you were able to reach infinity. All along, while doing the mundane job, you were able to be the holiest person while doing it. But is there such thing as low? Right? We learned a couple of nights ago that we're only swimming up. But is there swimming down? No. There's no such thing. It is only because I have no light that I thought there was high and there was low. Until the light of Chanukah reached me, I thought that when I'm praying, I'm high. When I sell herring, I'm low. On Chanukah, I realized that I could be the highest even when I'm selling herring. Do you think I'm really close to God, only close to God when I yell Hashem Echad, God is one? A person can come into my store and buy herring, and I give him change. From the way I give him change, that person can know there is one God. Right, so just to give an example of pomerantz. Now Nachum Pomerantz, kind of like advertising for a store, but it's my favorite store in Jerusalem. Bookstore, the holiest bookstore in the world. But there's something about the store that's much more than the books. It's Nachum Pomerantz himself. The way he gives you the handshake, the way he smiles at you even through his mask. Lights you up, makes you feel like $1,000,000, makes you want to be warm to other people. So same too with the person who's selling herring. Right, during the year, we could get lost. We could think, how can this job be holy? But Chanukah is telling you, look how many Shabbos tables you're affecting. Look how many kiddushes you're affecting. All the smiles you're bringing. All the weeknight dinners. Farkana is loving it. The appetizers, the whole thing. So this is the teaching of Chanukah, Chavra. This is it. It is the last miracle which has to keep us going. Chanukah gives us strength. What keeps us going is I have a little candle in my house, and this candle doesn't have to be high. On Chanukah, it comes all the way down to my place. The light of Chanukah reaches everybody and everywhere. So just to conclude, we all know Hashem comes down to our place, to our bias on Chanukah. But even more so, Hashem comes down to what might seem like the darkest of places within ourselves and within our lives. But he says, no, it was light all the time. Here are a new pair of goggles. Here are some new glasses. But the craziest thing is that it's affecting everyone and everywhere. Right? So with Yom Tovim, let's say, in Shabbos, right, we prepare and we experience it. We experience more of the light, right? Shabbos, the light is already there. We all know, right? We're just trying to make ourselves into a kli to receive that light. But on Yom Tovim, we're creating in order to receive. But Chanukah is similar to Shabbos in the event that we just show up, and Hashem is coming to us, and it's so obvious. And I'm affected when I go on the streets of Jerusalem and Herzliya and YU, and I see all the candles burning. I'm like, everyone is so holy. The person who works in the grannies, I'm just trying to be relatable here. The person that's holding the door open for you when you go to Sai Sims, they're the holiest people in the world. So Bezrat Hashem, Chavra, it shouldn't just last again for 8 days, but it's a remez, it's a hint. The fact that it happens the entire year, and it's so hard to see it. But through this teaching, through this tefillah, we'll be able to see it more and more. Shabbat Shalom. Questions, comments, please feel free.
Amen. Yeah, I should say that I was reading some Rav Kook recently, and he says in one of the pieces that sometimes spiritual problems require physical solutions. So it's basically this idea of the light. It's everywhere.
Farkane, Cafe Morgue. Telling you the in-between classes break is the strongest. And Farkane literally decided to join us. How beautiful, how beautiful. I mean, we steal Torah like Farkane. Constantly on his mind. You are where your thoughts are. Chavra, have an amazing, amazing night. Be well. Health, happiness, and success. And Farkane, be well, my friend, my holy friend.